Am I overreacting is a good question. I'm your host, Tite. Here are my suggestions. Our first one is from Beneficial Reach 287. Am I overreacting for dumping my 3 years girlfriend over not a date? So I've been with my girlfriend for about 3 years, in what was a pretty much classic exclusive relationship. We were living in a big city, and recently, very recently, that's going to have its importance, moved to her province of origin. When moving, she picked up a new job, real estate agent. I work from home and am there pretty much all day. She also gets to work from home unless she has property visits. To cut to the chase now that the setting is set, a couple days ago, she tells me she's got a visit and leaves the house at like 3:45 p.m. I finish my day of work at about 5, leave for the gym, train for about 2 hours, and come back around 7:30 p.m. Still no girlfriend. I didn't think much of it. I shower, start prepping my food, and finally, a bit before 8 p.m., she shows up. I'm a bit curious, so I ask where she was, still, at this time, without thinking much of it. The clients were a couple and didn't like the first house, so they visited another one, and then another one, and then she got home. See, at this point, still not really suspecting a big thing is happening, I start to find things weird. I've visited houses. I know how long it takes, and 3 visits certainly do not take 4 hours. So I keep poking, out of curiosity, and after some time and some more poking, at some point, they, the couple, became he. At this point, my spider sense goes off. I keep poking at her story, and the more I poke, the more she contradicts herself. I know something's up. The discussion lasts and lasts. She obviously is out of options, but still refuses to do the big reveal. I get tired and just say that I'll go to bed and we'll pick up the next morning. Except no, I get to bed and I can't stop thinking. I go back down and corner her, metaphorically of course. I get up in verbal intensity and basically leave her no choice. She refuses, the intensity goes up another notch. And at the very last second, when literally it was give me something or get out, she timidly admits, "We ate, we went to dinner," which she now maintains tooth and nail wasn't a date. She's been an agent 2 weeks. I broke up the relationship right then and there. Am I overreacting? Thanks for your attention. I definitely think it was a date, because if it wasn't, why was she acting so shady about it? Why couldn't you just be honest from the start? 100% not overreacting. Honestly, I would have done the same. This next one is by Technical Source 9357. Am I overreacting for telling my friends my date's food gave me diarrhea after he criticized me for being a spoiled brat? I, 25 female, am a picky eater, but I don't consider myself a spoiled brat. I went on a blind date with the chef, 27 male, who is the brother of one of my friends. Because he was a family member of a trusted friend, the date was at his house. He made this super fancy meal. It was so spicy that I was dripping sweat and kept drinking water. He seemed unaffected by the food. He even commented on my sweating, saying that it must be fun for me with all the spice given how much I'm sweating. I eventually had to excuse myself because I got diarrhea. I hoped that would be a funny thing we would joke about later, but I heard from my friends that my date said I'm a picky eater and a spoiled brat. He said he couldn't believe I was such a baby over a little bit of spice, but he conveniently left out that I finished the meal and got diarrhea, so I told my friends. Days later, he confronted me, saying what I said made him sound like a bad cook. I argued he should have shared the whole story or none at all. Am I overreacting? Everybody handles spice differently. It doesn't necessarily make them a picky eater or a spoiled brat. For instance, before COVID, I used to love super hot buffalo wings. After I had COVID, my taste buds don't really like the hot anymore. Hell, even Wendy's spicy chicken nuggets, used to love them, too hot for me now. So in my opinion, OP's definitely not overreacting. This next one is from Icy Rope 7322. Am I overreacting? My sister-in-law flipped out because I didn't reserve food for her kid. Last weekend, during a casual family lunch at my place, I had invited my in-laws over nothing fancy, just a homemade pasta, garlic bread, and salad. Everyone was serving themselves buffet style from the kitchen counter, and I'd made sure everything was kid-friendly too, since my sister-in-law, let's call her Marie, was bringing her 7-year-old son. When they arrived, we said our hellos, and everybody headed over to grab their plates. I helped my toddler first, then started serving myself while chatting with my mother-in-law. Marie was on her phone, her son just standing near her, looking kind of lost, but I figured she'd help him once she noticed. About 10 minutes later, everyone's at the table eating and her kid is still wandering around without a plate. I quietly asked Marie if he needed help, and she snapped, said that I should have served him like everyone else. I told her I assumed she'd want to fix his plate since I didn't know what he liked or how much he'd eat. She rolled her eyes, got up in a huff, and loudly said something like, "I guess it's too much to expect some basic help." It made everything super awkward. I felt bad, but also kind of irritated. It wasn't like I ignored her kid. I genuinely thought she had it covered. I also don't feel great about being scolded like that in front of everyone when I was just trying to host and feed a group of 8. Later, my husband told me Marie texted him saying I was cold and made her feel unwelcome. He said not to take it personally. I like Marie, but I don't think I was being rude or neglectful. So, am I overreacting for feeling annoyed and a bit hurt? Definitely not overreacting. I mean, if Marie literally brought her son, then she could have put her phone down for a minute and served him a plate. It's really that simple. I don't know why she's complaining about needing some basic help when she could have done that simple stuff herself. And our final one is by GlumDark281. Am I overreacting? My boyfriend thinks I overstepped by getting a Nintendo Switch 2. Am I wrong? So I, late 20s female, decided to treat myself and finally ordered a Nintendo Switch 2 online last week. I've been wanting one since it came out, but with the rising cost of living, it's been hard to justify the expense and the stock has been impossible to find. After budgeting carefully and making sure all my bills were covered, I went for it. I've been saving for months now and was honestly so excited when I managed to get one before it sold out again. When I told my boyfriend, he didn't seem thrilled. He said I should have discussed it with him first and accused me of being irresponsible with my money. To clarify, I didn't touch any shared finances or skip out on responsibilities. This was 100% my own money, and everything else is in order. He's acting like it's a huge deal, saying I'll spend too much time on it and that it's immature for an adult. I know gaming isn't something a lot of women are into, but it's just something I genuinely enjoy. I get that things are tight right now, and maybe he's feeling stressed about money too, but I made sure everything important was covered before buying it. It feels like he's upset that I made a decision for myself without asking first. Am I missing something here, or is he overreacting? I really don't want this to turn into a bigger issue, but I also feel like I didn't do anything wrong. OP's definitely not overreacting. Her boyfriend is 100% overreacting, especially considering the fact that OP saved the money herself, didn't use any shared funds. I really don't see what the problem is. Outside of maybe he's butthurt she got something that he wanted and couldn't get. I really don't know. Alright, that's enough stories for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Am I Overreacting? If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons and super thanks contributors. Have a great day and stay safe out there.